All right, so I got something random that I want to talk about. I've complained about this multiple times in the past. I've made fun of, Tusken Dickhead, our stupid community manager or whatever, and it's still going on years later. It just annoys me because of the stupidity. So I was in the shop and I noticed there was a whole bunch of new Datacrons, and I was just checking them out. And obviously, I bought this one. Oh crap! I can't look at it. Well, I have it, so whatever. I'll go to it over here then. But anyways, I was looking at it, and there's just stupid language in there that is unnecessary. Let's take a look at this. It says the first bonus we get is at level 3. Bonus mechanic, Darth Scion. Whenever Darth Scion uses an ability, they deal more damage, equal to half their tenacity percentage, max 100% more damage. This effect will only trigger if Darth Scion has more than 0% tenacity. Did you see what I find annoying? The dumb use of they and their. Like, Darth Scion is a guy, okay? There's no doubting it. There's no mistaking it. There's no confusion there. Sure, he looks like he's dead. He's practically a corpse. He's held together literally with his own rage. But that is a man. Six-pack abs. Pretty big muscles. Manly face. Bald head. Not a woman. And he's also a he. He's not some dumb they-them nonsense. He's not a lib. He's a extreme rage-fueled Sith male. So why does CG find it necessary to put stupid words like they? Scion is not a they, okay? He. This should say, whenever Darth Scion uses an ability, he deals more damage equal to his tenacity percentage. Like, CG, why do I have to teach you phonetics? I mean, look, CG, even a super basic Google search, if you were that dumb that you didn't know what Scion was, would give you the answer. Type in, what gender is Darth Scion? Oh, Darth Scion is a male human Sith Lord. Gender, male. Pronouns, he, him. Huh. So I don't understand what all this they comes from when he's clearly not some lib freak that's trying to use weird pronouns and such. Maybe this will help you out a little bit too, CG, or most specifically, Tusken Meathead. Here's the definition of they. Again, in case you didn't really know what they meant, which you should because it's basic English English language understanding. Anybody knows how to use they. A 4-year-old child knows how to use they properly. But just in case you didn't know, here's the definition of they. They is a third-person pronoun used to refer to two or more people, animals, or things previously mentioned. Huh. That's funny, because Darth Scion, when he was previously mentioned in that Datacron read, is a singular individual. He wasn't two or more people, he is himself, Darth Scion. So, by definition, they isn't used. What else does it say? It also acts as a singular pronoun for a unspecified person, a person of unknown gender, or a non-binary individual. Well, let's break that down. First off, an unspecified person, we know the specified person. Again, it's Darth Scion. A person of unknown gender. Well, I just showed you that he is clearly a human male, goes by he, him, so it's not that he's unknown, and a non-binary individual. Well, here's the thing with that. That is a fake mental condition that just became popular within like the past 5 years. If we went back 10 years ago when this game first came out, to 2015, no, non-binary wasn't a thing. They, them wasn't a thing. So now, let's show you some proper examples of how to use this. Plural, people and things. The children are sleeping, so please keep quiet because they are tired. Yeah, they, referencing the collective children. Singular, unknown, or unspecified person. If a student is late, they must report to the office. Yes, you're keeping the situation of that student generic. It's kind of like, say you're telling a story to somebody and you're talking about your girlfriend, but you don't really want the people to know you're kind of talking crap about your person, so you keep it generic. Oh, I was with somebody the other day and they. That's how you use they. Now this next one, this is for brain dead people. And then gender indefinite people in general. They say it's going to rain tomorrow. Yes, that's a proper use too, because they just means the collective of scientists and meteorologists and all that. So it's kind of a plural. So yes, stop it with this dumb language. They do this so many times too. It's so many kit reveals that you can see that they always have this dumb language. The first one I ever noticed it in, I think, was Seer Junda. Seer Junda, they went and called her they, and it was like, what the F are you using they for? She is a woman. It's not they, it's she, stupid. You know, it's not 2019 anymore. It's not 2020 anymore, when all this crap was super rampant during COVID and the lockdowns, and TikTok really gained popularity, and people were just home going crazy, being locked in their house, watching deranged social media, and, you know, they them becoming a thing. You know, we've moved past that. We've moved past that extreme lib phase of reality, and we're back to normal now. We have Trump in office instead of Biden, who was all about embracing the libness. We're back to normalcy. We're back to regular. Stop putting it in your stupid game. Because what's even worse is that's not the only instance. Let's scroll down. What's level 2 or level 6, I guess? Bonus mechanic, Darth Treya. The first time Darth Treya is defeated, if there is at least one other active ally, revive all other defeated allies. Oh, it doesn't say it. So they're lucky. Because I was going to say Darth Treya is clearly a woman. But sure, we can go with they. But never mind. They didn't get a chance to say it. But then you have Nihilus. If Darth Nihilus is in the leader slot, whenever Nihilus inflicts a stack of damage over time, he gains... Oh my god, he? So now you know that he's a he? He gains 2% max health stacking until the end of the encounter. Whenever Nihilus gains turn meter, both Cyan and Treya gain 10% turn meter as well. So, CG doesn't make any sense. How do you know that Darth Nihilus is a he, but you have no idea that Cyan is a he? Are you serious right now? You're not even consistent with your brainlessness. It's like you pick and choose. And we're going to use they here for no reason, and then we're definitely going to call Nihilus a he. And Nihilus, I feel like, would almost be excusable if you use they, because technically Nihilus isn't really a person or anything. He's a wound in the Force. He was a person. He was a man, and then the Force consumed him and all this, and then he became a wound in the Force. So calling him a they would almost make sense, because he's not really a guy or a girl. He's just a being. Like this thing says here. We're going to skip that no, Darth Nihilus is not a girl, because I'm sure that's just like an answer that the AI pulled from Reddit. Yeah, it's right there. It says Reddit. So somebody asked the question. So that's irrelevant. But it says, he is explicitly identified in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, and official canon materials as a human male. So, okay, you got that right, though. You know that that's a he. But for some reason, Cyan, he gets the same designation, but you think he's a they, them. All right. Anyways, while he becomes an eldritch horror entity with no physical body later in life, which would then make him almost like a they, them, or it, he was once a man. Gender, male. Original form, he was a human male who lost his physical body to the dark side. Appearance, his spirit is bound to his mask and robes. Context, while his androgynous robes and mask led to speculation, official sources consistently refer to him with masculine pronouns. So, you know, it's weird you got that one right, though. But Cyan, you had no idea. Cyan, clearly a guy, shirtless and everything, big six-pack, big ripped arms. No idea, though. He's a they, right? But as I was saying, they do this all the time. Here it is here with this Wampa one. This is exclusive to Wampa. Bonus mechanic, Wampa. Whenever Wampa uses an ability, they deal more damage equal to half their tenacity percentage. Max 100% more damage. This effect will only trigger if Wampa has more than 0% tenacity. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff, Wampa gains 5% offense stacking until they are defeated. If there are no other active allies at the start of battle, Wampa's Omicron ability is active in territory wars. Wampa gains... Okay, so this one they specifically say Wampa. But here we go again, calling him a they. Look, here's the thing. First off, okay, I get it. Wampa is a creature, so we don't explicitly know if Wampa is male or female, especially like in the context of the movie. But generally speaking, you can just call him or call it a him. Or if anything, call it an it then. Like if there's a dog that you see running around the streets or something, and you don't know if it's gender, you don't say they, you say it. Oh, I saw it. It was just running around it came through my yard and went into the street or whatever. You don't say, "Oh, yeah, they were running around the yard in my yard, and then they went into the street." No. So either call Wampa it, or just give them the male pronoun by default, like most normal people do. Here, CG, let me try to help you out again. Is Wampa a boy or girl? Now, that's the prompt I typed. The answer I got was, the Wampa that attacks Luke in episode 5 is generally considered a male. That would mean he, him, not they. However, lore sometimes distinguishes between two different creatures. The one that attacks him on the ice is male, while the one in the cave that loses its arm is often referred to as one arm. Oh, as female, often referred to as one arm. So let me say two things here. First off, notice how they say the one in the cave that loses its arm. It's. Like I was just saying when you're talking about like a stray dog or something, you would use it. It doesn't say the one that loses they arm is a female referred to. No, that's not the normal way to do things if you don't know if it's male or female. You use it. Second is, random side note, since I'm complaining about the improper use of pronouns here, but I didn't realize that that was supposed to be two different Wampas. I always thought that was the same Wampa. It was outside and attacked Luke, and then I always thought that it just brought Luke into its cave to eat him after. I didn't realize that was supposed to be a different Wampa, like his girlfriend or something. But anyways, let's keep going. Here are the specific details. The attacker. The Wampa that ambushes Luke and his Tauntaun is identified as male. The cave creature. That one is apparently nicknamed One Arm. I've never heard that. And is apparently a female. But other appearances. Here's where it gets great. Wampas are generally referred to as a species. But specifically in Swigo, the character is referred to as he. So somewhere along the line, you guys must have used to call Wampa a he, and now all of a sudden, you want to call him a they? What happened to you, you idiots? How did you forget what you called the character in your own game? Anyhow, here's another thing that pisses me off with this stupid-ass language that they use, instead of just talking like normal people, using regular, everyday English. You know, what percentage of the population is non-binary, I typed in. It says approximately 11% of blah, blah, blah adults in the U.S. identify as non-binary, totaling about 1.2 million people, according to some stupid thing. Among younger adults under 30, roughly 3% identify as non-binary, indicating higher rates among younger generations. Non-binary people make up a significant portion of the transgender population. So, what I'm trying to get at here is, overall, out of the whole entire population of the U.S., 11% of these people are in that little bracket of insanity where they believe that there's something that they're not, and I'm a they, them, I'm not a he or her, blah, blah, blah. And then how many of that percentage actually play Swigo? Or how many of that, well, yeah, we'll just stick with that. I was going to say how many of them even like Star Wars, but how many of them actually even play Swigo? 10% of that 11%, so that 1.2 million people, maybe 10% of that play, which is 120,000 people. So you're going to cater to 120,000 people that live in delusional La La Land and just say F you to the English language and everyone else who's normal that plays your game and stuff, and make us have to see your dumbass bullshit that you always put in here, instead of just being normal and speaking like normal, regular English-speaking humans. No, we got to cater to those 120,000 potential. I mean, let's look at it this way then. I know that I wasn't going to get great answers, but I just wanted to see what I could get with the AI feature that Google has. That really helps out a lot. So it says, how many non-binary people play Squiggle? That's what I typed in. The answer I got is, there is no specific publicly available data detailing the exact number of non-binary people who play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Exactly what I expected to see. But it says, however, based on general gaming demographics and industry reports, here is some context. Active player base. So this game has 2.1 million monthly active players, okay? General gay community gaming data. As of 2024, 17% of active gamers identify as LGBT, blah, 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 with that number rising to 23 to 28% among those under 35. Doesn't matter because that 17 would include them as well. So anyways, so that seems to be generic. That doesn't mean Swigo specifically. It just means in general, 17% of all the gamers are gay. But that's not what I'm going for. I'm trying to go for this dumb non-binary nonsense. The people that use they, them. Because gay people don't use they, them. They still know how to speak normal. They're just gay. So the non-binary representation. Recent studies indicate that roughly 1% of the broader gaming population identifies as non-binary. 1% of the broader gaming population. That means every game, every gamer out there, every game available that's played, 1% of those people are non-binary. Which means the sliver of that Swiggo actually represents is nothing. But regardless, you have 2.1 million monthly players, okay? 1% of that is, what, 21,000? Yeah, because 210,000 would be 10%. It's 21,000 people out of your 2.1 million. So that means the other, what is that? 2,099,000, or I don't know. I can't do this math off the top of my head while I'm trying to complain, but you know what I'm saying. The other 2 million, well into the 2 millions, just, F them. Hey, we want to use this dumb language that nobody uses, but we got to cater to those 21,000 people. Potential 21,000. That's just based on these metrics. Like I said, could be way less for Swiggo specifically. Let's see, maybe I can find some other data to back up my claims. Well, unfortunately, this search was a bust. First, I said how many non-binary people are Star Wars fans, and I basically got this answer. And then I changed it to just LGBTQ in general, and still got this answer. So I guess they don't really know how many people are gay that like Star Wars and what have you. But it does say that apparently 1 in 4 internet users were considered fans. So, I mean, I guess you could do further research and see how many people, like, what are the numbers, generally speaking, for the people on the internet on how gay they are, or whatever I'm trying to say. And then you could figure out 1/4 of that would be the overall Star Wars fan base, which I guess would be a pretty high number still. But that doesn't tell you how many are gay. Well, I guess then you could take the demographics that they said of like 17. Well, that was for gaming. I don't know. So I guess this was a little bit of a bust. But all I'm trying to say is, oh, that's still open. I didn't realize. So here it is. Just like I said. It didn't really... Oh, wait, no. What is this? Oh, this is my other search. Never mind. But anyways, all I'm trying to get at is, it's not like it's a very high amount, very popular thing that they really should be focusing on because, we don't want to upset our player base. No, your player base is mostly normal people who live normal lives and don't need to have this dumb nonsense shoved down their throat. So anyway, back to the main point. Wampa here either is A, a male, as we just discovered, B, as you previously knew, and then for some reason forgot, or C, at least just say it, not this dumb they nonsense. And also, just because I mentioned it, I want to go to Sir Juna because, like I said, she was one of the first ones that I discovered that they did this stupid crap with. And so I just want to show you where they put it. I don't know exactly which move it was, but let's see. Nope. How about this one? Nope. How about this one? The weakest, deal physical damage, all others. How about this one? All allies have that at the start of each color. All allies gain that. All allies have that. Control an ally takes blah blah blah. Is it down here? And there are no Galactic Legend allies at the start of battle. Huh, that's weird. It used to. I don't know. This actually says her now. Whenever an enemy takes a turn, her cooldowns are decreased by 1. Maybe it's just in the kit reveal then. Maybe it's not actually in the kit, but it was in the kit reveal. Maybe that's where it was. Or it's something like through these moves, but as they get upgraded, that kind of just goes away. I don't know. But this was the first one I saw it, and I was like, what is this they crap? She's not a they. She's a she. So anyways, that's all I got. I'm just sick and tired of CG always seeing that dumb nonsense. That would be funny if this had a they in there, only because the move is called Big Sister. Imagine CG just putting they, because, why not? Yeah, anyways, I just want to make this video to complain briefly, because I'm just so sick and tired of seeing this every time. Every time you go into one of these kit reveals or whatever, you gotta see some dumb nonsense. Oh, look, a cool Wampa Omicron. And then, boom, littered with theys and all this. Nobody's a they. Okay, it's 100% made up. Either it or use the proper pronouns. Or use they properly, like I gave you the definition of already, you dickheads. Anyhow, that's all I got, so thanks for listening to this rant with me, and until next time, I said see ya.